So I want to begin this Advent with a little bit of a childhood memory of my own. It's middle of winter, cold like today, or even colder, and you're dressed in layer upon layer of t-shirts and long underwear and sweatshirts and snow pants and jackets and scarves and mittens. And you come in from the outside after playing for a while, then you begin to peel all of that off, one layer at a time. But then you're taking the sweatshirt off, and the other layers come with it. And now you're stuck. And you don't know whether to go forward or backward. You don't know whether to rip it all off or go back from the beginning and try it again, and you feel like a turtle with its head that can't get out of its shell. And right now, all of you who are claustrophobics, blood pressure just went up 10 points, didn't it? I bring that memory of it to Advent because Advent helps us to live out liturgically what we have to deal with day after day of our lives. How so often we just find ourselves kind of stuck in the middle of it all, and we don't know whether to look ahead or look back, whether we're coming or we're going. Only Advent doesn't do it with layers of clothes, it does it with layers of Scripture. I mean, in these days of Advent, we are gearing up in anticipation to celebrate the joy of Christmas. And yet our Scriptures call to mind the tribulation to expect at the end of time. We hear the voice of Jeremiah the prophet reassuring us that the great promises of God will be fulfilled. But we hear the voice of Jesus tell us that people are going to die of fright in anticipation of what is to come. St. Paul tells us that we should prepare for that day, asking God to increase within us and abound in love for one another. And yet Jesus urges us to pray that we have the strength to escape the tribulations that are imminent. We don't know whether we should look back or forward or just keep our heads buried because it's safer right there, right? For many of us, it describes not only the crossroads in our liturgical life, but sometimes our personal life as well. Some days, don't you just feel kind of stuck, not sure whether we're coming or we're going in the middle of it all? I want to forgive, but I am so angry yet. I hate my job, but I know I have to put food on the table. I believe in God, and yet I still have these doubts that keep coming back at me. I know I shouldn't, but everyone else is, and they seem okay with it. I love them, but I don't like them right now. I know she is in heaven, but I just miss her so much. I have more than what I need, but I just keep going shopping. I want to be brave, but I'm scared as hell. I want to be a good Catholic, but I just struggle with some of the teachings. See, being stuck in the middle of all of that fills us sometimes with anxiety. It feeds our fears. And sometimes then caught in the layers of anxiety and fear, we panic. And we do what Jesus told us exactly what not to do, what to beware of. And so we try to numb our fears in carousing and drunkenness. Well, maybe we don't do it literally, and then maybe again we do, but we do it by looking for anything to just escape. So we just scroll through the internet hour after hour. We watch TV, we shop, we get stuck in the news cycles. We live our lives in panic because sometimes, quite honestly, we just don't know how to get out of it. But here's another memory. Being claustrophobic, big time, I remember those days as a kid. And I'd get caught in the middle of those snowy, wet layers of clothes, and I would panic. And then Mom's hands would skillfully free me from the tangle, layer after layer. And finally, what seemed like a lifetime, but I'm sure was only a few seconds, my head would pop out. And there she was, always there at the other side of darkness. That promise, too, Advent gives us. This God, our God, whose birth we prepare to celebrate, is the same God who promises to be there at the end of time, is the same God who is with us right now, is the same God who frees us from the tangles of life today, our God, Emmanuel. God is with us.